Hello students. Today we are going to discuss next hormone, that is progesterone, and related drugs called as progestins. Progesterone is secreted from the corpus luteum and placenta during pregnancy. It is also secreted from the adrenal gland as well as testes. Secretion of progesterone in our body is under influence of the LH hormone, that is luteinizing hormone, and chorionic gonadotropins. Progesterone is the naturally synthesized endogenously present hormone, while progestin are the group of the substances. They are synthetically produced, they are drugs, but having progesterone like activity inside the body. All these together are called as progestins. Like estrogen, progesterone is also having a feedback mechanism. It is controlling through the hypothalamo pituitary gonadal axis. High level of progesterone will send a negative feedback mechanism to the hypothalamus as well as to the anterior pituitary for its negative feedback mechanism for inhibition of its release. Here you can see that from the hypothalamus F signal is sent by the GnRH hormone, which will stimulate the release of FSH and LH hormone. It will act on the oocyte and granulosa cells to produce estrogen, and when granulosa cells are converted into corpus luteum, they produce progesterone. And progesterone send a negative feedback mechanism to the hypothalamus as well as it send a negative feedback mechanism to the anterior pituitary also. In the embryonic life, HCG is secreted, and HCG will stimulate the corpus luteum, which will further enhance the secretion of progesterone. This is the menstrual cycle of the female genital tract, and role of progesterone is into the post ovulatory phase. As discussed into the previous lecture, now you are well aware that progesterone is the main hormone during the luteal phase. It is the main hormone responsible for maintaining the pregnancy. Whenever gonadotropin hormones are released, there is a release of FSH and LH into the follicular phase. Then there is a LH surge occur, that is the mid-cycle rise of the LH hormone, and this LH surge is responsible for the ovulation process. During the follicular phase, ovarian follicle starts growing and they enlarge. One of the follicle become Graafian follicle, and with the ovulation that Graafian follicle rupture and ovum is released. In the luteal phase, this ovarian follicle will be converted into corpus luteum, which will be releasing the progesterone hormone. So, into the follicular phase, estrogen is the main hormone, while in progesterone levels are negligible or very low into the follicular phase, while the progesterone level gradually increases into the luteal phase, and if pregnancy does not take place, the progesterone level goes down, which is responsible for the starting of menstruation. Now you remember the uterine changes, that is proliferative phase into along with the pre-ovulatory phase and secretory phase along with the luteal phase. But main reason for development or the starting of the menstruation is the withdrawal of the estrogen and progesterone both. Among them, progesterone plays the main role for natural withdrawal bleeding. Now we see the chemical classification of the progestins. First is progesterone, that is the endogenously derived and endogenously produced hormone. Second is derivatives of progesterone. Esters of 17 alpha hydroxyprogesterone known as capronate and acetate. C6 substituted 17 alpha hydroxyprogesterone derivative. They are medroxyprogesterone acetate MPA, megestrol, and chlormedinone acetate. Another category is dihydrogestosterone or dihydrogesterone. Drug in this category is dufaston. Another chemical class is derivative of testosterone that include ethisterone and dimethisterone. Derivatives of 19 nortestosterone, Testosterone without the 19 methyl group. Example are norethistérone acetate, norethanol ethanodrel, ethanol diacetate, norgestrel, and many more. Now we see the classification which is based on the activity. That is progestin include progesterone, dihydrogesterone, esters of 17 alpha hydroxyprogesterone, chlormadione and megestrol. There are progestins with possible androgenic activity like medroxyprogesterone and norgestrel. Progestins with androgenic effect, that is norethisterone. Progestins with estrogenic effect, that is norethanodrel. And steroids with uncertain status included are ethanodiol diacetate. This is the classification based on the activity of the progesterone inside the body. There are certain newer progesterone, that is desogestrel, gestodine and norgestimate, and there is one spironolactone analog, that is drospirenone. It is also classified as progestin. Now we see the pharmacological and physiological actions of progestin inside the body. First and most important action is of progesterone is to prepare the uterus for implantation of fertilized ovum and maintain the pregnancy. So what are the actions on the uterus or endometrium? Secretory changes into the post-ovulatory phase are mainly under the influence of the progesterone. We can say that the actions of progesterone are exactly opposite of estrogen. That is why it is also called as anti-estrogenic action. Withdrawal of the progesterone causes menstrual bleeding as discussed earlier. Decidual changes occur into the endometrium which causes preparation of endometrium for the implantation of fertilized ovum, and it also helps in prolonging the luteal phase. It decreases sensitivity of the uterus to the oxytocin. Actions on the cervix are the cervical secretion becomes viscid and scanty, which is opposite to estrogen. Estrogen makes the cervical secretion watery and thin, while progesterone make cervical secretion viscid and scanty. Actions on the vagina, it prevents the cornification of the vaginal epithelium. It causes increased glycogen deposition into the vagina, increased folding and elongation of nucleus. Leukocyte infiltration of the cornified epithelium is seen with progestin. Complete maturation of the cells is prevented and cause increased desquamated cells. Thick, viscid, scanty vaginal secretions are produced. Along with the thick cervical secretion, high level of progesterone makes entry of the sperm difficult inside the vagina or cervix. Actions on the breast or the mammary gland, it causes promotion of the development of the alveolar system of the breast. Cyclic epithelial proliferation of the acini during the luteal phase is seen. It stabilizes the mammary cells and prepare them for lactation during the pregnancy. Withdrawal of the progesterone causes prolactin release, and prolactin release will start the process of lactation. Another important action of progesterone is that it causes inhibition of the ovulation by causing negative feedback mechanism. Progesterone inhibits ovulation only at higher doses. 19 testosterone derivatives are the potent gonadotropin and ovulation inhibitors, partly because of their inherent estrogenic activity, as we have seen that some of the progestins are having estrogen like activity. Metabolic actions of progestins are it causes increased basal and post glucose insulin secretion. It promotes glycogen deposition and ketogenesis. It stimulates the lipoprotein lipase and stimulate lipogenesis process. Impaired glucose tolerance during contraceptive use is seen, that is one of the side effect of the progesterone. Some catabolic action is also seen. It promotes nitrogen loss during pregnancy. Progestin with androgenic action causes decreased HDL to LDL ratio and cardioprotective effect is seen with progesterone. That is one of the reasons why progestins are used as hormone replacement therapy into postmenopausal phase. They cause slight increase into the body temperature about zero point 0.5 degrees Celsius during the luteal phase and help in resetting the hypothalamic thermostat. Promote sodium and chloride loss because they produce competition with the aldosterone into the kidneys. So ultimately action is opposite to estrogen. They produce sodium and chloride loss while estrogen causes sodium and water retention. High level of progesterone during pregnancy causes sedation, depression and some amount of respiratory stimulation. Actions on the pituitary, there is a weak inhibition of gonadotropin secretion is seen as a negative feedback mechanism. If given during follicular phase, progesterone inhibits the LH surge and action is synergistic with the estrogen. That is why estrogen and progesterone are combinedly used for the contraceptive purpose. Anti-neoplastic action, it suppresses the estrogen induced fibromyalgia in animals. It is added to hormone replacement therapy which prevents possible development of the endometrial carcinoma, which is one of the side effects of estrogens. It is used into the treatment of advanced breast and endometrial cancer also because of its anti-neoplastic action. Now we see the mechanism of action. Like all other steroids, progesterone also act through nuclear receptors and they act by modifying genetic transcription. Progesterone receptors are known as PR receptor or progesterone receptor. Prior estrogen increased density of the progesterone receptor inside the body. Now we see the pharmacokinetics of progesterone. Naturally occurring progesterone is orally inactive because of the high first pass metabolism. Parenterally, half-life is around 5 to 7 minutes. That is why it is given by injection and that too in a oily solution, which is degraded and conjugated to glucuronide and sulfate into the liver. But all the synthetic products which are used nowadays, they are orally effective. Synthetic progesterones are having longer half-life ranging from 18 to 24 hours depending on the different type of compounds. Pregnenolone in urine is estimate of progesterone activity. So if one want to measure the progesterone activity inside the body, they should measure the pregnenolone level into the urine which can reflect the progesterone activity. Adverse effects of progesterone are described here. In the menstrual cycle, what are the side effects? When progesterone is used at pharmacological doses, it can lead to spotting and breakthrough bleeding. It decreases the menstrual flow, it causes irregular bleeding, and when given into higher doses, it may lead to amenorrhea into females. Other side effects are headache and mood swings, which is very common with progesterone. It causes breast engorgement and discomfort of the breast. Androgenic side effects are it causes muscularization of female fetus, so it is absolutely contraindicated during pregnancy. So before prescribing progesterone, one should check that the lady is not pregnant. Weight gain, acne, hirsutism are other possible side effects. It causes esophageal reflux, it causes decreased HDL level, especially 19 nor derivative, which produces cardiovascular complications. It causes increased blood glucose level or altered glucose tolerance. That is why it may be given cautiously into diabetic patients. IM injection of progesterone, which is a oily solution, it is very painful and most of the patient would not comply with that much painful injection. Now we come to the therapeutic uses of progesterone. It is used as a contraceptive, as combined pills, or it is given as alone. But we will be discussing them in detail when we discuss the lecture of oral contraceptive pills. Progesterone are essential component of hormone replacement therapy, which we are going to discuss little later. They causes They are very effective drug for the treatment of dysfunctional uterine bleeding where norethindrone into the dose of 20 to 40 milligram per day given which stops the bleeding and cyclical therapy is required for most of the cases. They are also useful for treatment of dysmenorrhea where combined pills are given after the NSAIDs. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs are drug of first choice for dysmenorrhea and if patient is not controlled with it, one can give oral contraceptive pills where progesterone is one of the component. Progesterone can be useful for treatment of endometriosis. Continuous therapy decreases estrogenic influence by feedback and direct effect controls the bleeding. In severe cases of premenstrual tension, progesterone can be very helpful. Other uses of progesterone are it is most commonly used for the postponement of menstruation, where norethindrone 5 milligram orally daily, higher dose into the late phase of second half of menstrual cycle is required. This is the most common use for the progesterone that postponement of menstruation. Norethindrone 5 milligram tablets are to be taken daily till the date you want to postpone the menstruation. Once you stop the tablet, withdrawal of the progesterone will start the menstruation after 2 to 3 days of the stopping the tablet. Other use is threatened and habitual abortion. In patients having established deficiency, pure progesterone is used, but the efficacy for this indication is very doubtful. We have discussed that progesterone is the hormone which helps in maintaining the pregnancy. Sometimes the reason for threatened abortion and habitual abortion is that there is a progesterone deficiency inside the body. For that cause, one can give pure progesterone as a replacement therapy, but still efficacy for this indication is doubtful. Progesterone can also be used for the endometrial carcinoma. It is used as a palliative therapy in advanced cases only. It can also be used for the fibrocystic disease of breast where danazol is drug of choice. It can also be used by the male sex offenders, large doses of medroxyprogesterone as an adjuvant with psychotherapy and counseling. Now we discuss the drug which is anti-progesterone. Drug in this class is mifepristone. It is competitive progesterone antagonist. It is glucocorticoid and androgen antagonist also. It decreases the gonadotropin surge and causes failure of ovulation. It prevents the secretory and decidual changes inside the uterus. It is a pure progesterone antagonist, mifepristone. It will inhibit the pregnancy to occur. Unrestrained prostaglandin action would lead to uterine contraction and bleeding would start because of the exactly opposing action of the progesterone. It causes dislodgement of the implanted blastocyst and HCG level falls. Even if into the early phase of the pregnancy, if blastocyst has just implanted onto the uterine wall, giving of mifepristone will cause a significant sensitivity of the uterus towards prostaglandin. It will stimulate the uterine contraction and there is dislodgement of the implanted blastocyst and cause abortion and HCG level falls. It can lead to abortion. In fact, this is the indication for which mifepristone is used currently. So uses is it is used for the termination of pregnancy. But most important is duration of pregnancy. Mifepristone is effective for termination of early pregnancies only. Those who are having less than 7 weeks of duration. After 7 weeks of pregnancy, mifepristone becomes less efficacious. Dose of mifepristone is 600 milligram is to be taken orally followed by 400 milligram after 48 hours. It can also be used for the treatment of cervical as a treatment for cervical ripening. 600 milligram 24 to 30 hours before induction of labor is advisable. It is one of the important drug regimen for postcoital contraception, commonly known as I-pill, which is taken soon after or within 72 hours of the unprotected intercourse. where mifepristone will inhibit the pregnancy. It can also be used as a month contraceptive, where 200 milligram mifepristone tablet to be taken 7 days after the mid cycle. But that is not very commonly used practice. Induction of labor in cases of fetal death, because this hormone is little bit less favorable as compared to oxytocin, which is used for the induction of labor. It can use full it can be useful for Cushing's disease, where it is used as palliative in inoperable cases. So this finishes our discussion on progesterone and antiprogesterone, that is mifepristone. Now we start with the different topic, that is hormone replacement therapy. What is hormone replacement therapy? It is the therapy in which the hormones are replaced. Where hormone replacement is required? Usually at the time of menopause, because we all know that males and females are having sexually reproductive age, that is starting with the 18 years to up to 40 years or 50 years, depending on the different parameters. After that, the menopausal period starts, where sex hormone level inside the body decreases, and in this phase we may give hormone replacement therapy for combating the symptoms which occurs because of the menopause. Vasomotor disturbances like hot flushes, chills, sweating, fainting attacks, aches and pain, that are the symptoms of menopause. This here we are first discussing what can happen during menopause which require hormone replacement therapy. Urogenital atrophy occurs, which leads to dryness, shrinkage, itching, urinary urgency, UTI, and dyspareunia into the genitourinary tract. Into the menopause period, there is a more chance of development of osteoporosis, especially into the females. Skin changes like thinning of skin, drying of skin, and wrinkles formation occurs. Cognitive disturbances like irritability and depression are common, and there is most important is increased risk of cardiovascular disorders. Now we see the some of the important facts about hormone replacement therapy. Hormone replacement therapy is not something which you start in every menopausal person. Individual assessment in each patient is required. Menopause is a normal physiological process, and person can go through it without taking any help of the medication. But sometimes in severe cases, if vasomotor symptoms are very high, or there is a specific indication, if patient suffers from osteoporosis or patient suffers from some cardiovascular complication, and you think that the reason is the hormonal deficiency, then you should give hormone replacement therapy. Main indication is the menopausal symptoms, where you start the hormone replacement therapy at low doses and give for the shortest possible duration, because it is a physiological process and one has to go through it. It is commonly required in early menopause in young women. In patients those who have undergone hysterectomy operation, that is post hysterectomy, estrogen alone can be used for the hormone replacement therapy. In perimenopausal women, cyclical hormonal replacement therapy with combination of estrogen and progesterone both is required. Hormone replacement therapy is not an option for osteoporosis treatment, which include calcium, vitamin D supplementation and all other modalities. Combined hormone replacement therapies, they have higher risk of cardiovascular diseases, so it has to be used very judiciously. They does not have any effect on the cognitive decline. In fact, they enhances the dementia which is faced by the individual. Combined hormone replacement therapies, they have the risk of breast cancer, gallstones and migraine. So you should be very cautious for the prescription of hormone replacement therapy, because you have to evaluate individual thoroughly. Transdermal patch of hormone replacement therapy are available, which has less risk of thromboembolic events. Now we see the hormone replacement regimens. First regimen is conjugated estrogen 0.625 milligram or equivalent estrogen preparations per day for 25 days plus medroxyprogesterone acetate 10 milligram per day for last 10 days of a menstrual cycle. Into the female menstrual cycle, we considered it as a 28 days. For first 25 days, you give conjugated estrogen 0.625 milligram, and for last 10 days, you give medroxyprogesterone acetate 10 milligram. Second is regimen is estrogen as above mentioned regimen, that is 0.625 milligram, but it is uninterrupted, not for 25 days, you give it for 28 days along with medroxyprogesterone acetate added into the last 10 days of the cycle. Estrogen as above plus medroxyprogesterone acetate 2.5 milligram per day without interruption, that is you are giving estrogen plus progesterone daily. Estrogen as above uninterrupted into the hysterectomy patients only, because if the uterus is removed there is no need to add progesterone to the regimen. Conjugated estrogen 0.625 milligram or equivalent estrogens can be given uninterruptedly for the menopausal symptoms into the females, those who have undergone hysterectomy. Medroxyprogesterone acetate MPA 10 milligram, which is equivalent to norethistérone 1 milligram, it is equivalent to dydrogesterone 10 and 20 milligram, which is equivalent to levonorgestrel 150 and 250 microgram respectively. Here are the doses for the progesterone switchover also. But most important to understand that what are the contraindications of HRT. Till now we have discussed that where HRT is required. It is required for the postmenopausal women, those who are having very severe symptoms like vasomotor disturbances or cognitive decline or urogenital symptoms that are, and you have evaluated the patient thoroughly, but you should know what are the contraindication. If any of this condition exists, then HRT should never be prescribed. Assessment of patient for following disorder is necessary before starting hormone replacement therapy. First is unexplained vaginal bleeding. That should be ruled out because it can be a cause for the carcinoma. Endometrial, breast, and liver cancer should be ruled out before starting HRT. Active endometriosis is there, then HRT should not be given. Chronic liver insufficiency, hypertriglyceridemia more than 250 milligram percentage, uncontrolled hypertension, recent thrombophlebitis, cardiovascular pathology is there, then one should not give hormone replacement therapy. Along with that, if patient is having seizure disorder, then also HRT is contraindicated. So this finishes our discussion on hormone replacement therapy also. I hope you have understood progesterone, its derivatives, its action, its mechanism of action, therapeutic uses, anti-progesterone drug and hormone replacement therapy well. If you have any questions, you can ask here into the comment box. Thank you.